Hi everybody, it's Tamara here from Create Your Future. Long time no see. Sorry guys, I was sick last week, but I'm happy to be back and today I have a very exciting video for all of you. I'm going to be doing a part 2 of my manifesting Q&A video series. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions you guys have sent in or left below my videos in the comments. So let's get into it, okay? The first two questions are kind of identical, so I'm going to be combining these two into one. So both of these people ask about living in the end, right? Like, can you make a video about living in the end and feeling of the wish fulfilled? I want to know what's your take on this. And another subscriber says, Tamara, would you please make a video and clarify living in the end when I want to manifest a different version of close family members like parents, etc. Okay, so living in the end, guys. There is a lot of information out there what living in the end actually is. And I know some people support the idea of you pretending that, let's say in this case, your parents are different or your SPs here by, for example, cooking for them, buying gifts for them, talking to them in real life, in 3D. There's not much in the 3D you can or should do when it comes to living in the end. You live in the end here in your awareness, guys, not in the 3D. You treat 3D circumstances, any negative or surprising circumstances, based off of your new state, your new decision. And we're going to talk about this a bit later. So what living in the end means is you decide something. Let's say I am in contact with my SP, or my SP and I have amazing communication. Or in the case of the girl's parents, my parents treat me amazingly, okay? You're going to see any circumstance from the point of view of the person who has their desire already. That means, let's say you're sticking with a decision, my SP and I have amazing communication. And then one day, they don't text you. Or you find yourself waiting for their text. What you're going to do then, in order to live in the end, from having your desire, is think about this. What meaning can I assign to this circumstance that is going to benefit me and is going to align with the state that I am occupying? So if I'm occupying a state of, I have amazing communication with my SP, and then one day they don't text me, or they don't call back. Instead of going full into a panic mode and assigning a meaning of, well, it doesn't work, or nothing's happening. You see, nothing's changed. This isn't working. By doing that, you're not living in the end. You're actually deciding right there and then that you're not the person you're supposed to be. You are deciding to go back to the previous state of being, which is, I don't have communication with my SP, or I am rejected, or this doesn't work, right? So again, think about this. If I was a person who has their desire, what meaning would I assign this specific circumstance? Maybe they're busy. My SP is just busy. He'll call me back. He always does. Why wouldn't he? Do you get what I mean? That is you living in the end. Living as a person who has their desire. That is you staying true to your state. Okay? So living in the end is you making a lot of these single tiny decisions every single day that are supporting your new decision, your new state of being, who you are. As long as you do that, you are living in the end. Okay? I hope this makes sense, guys. Okay, next question is, Tamara, is there karma or anything like that if you manifest a guy who you think might be dating somebody else? Okay, great question. And I know a lot of you guys probably come from various, religious backgrounds. And I know that karma is a very big part of Asian cultures, especially. And this is how many of you probably have been brought up to believe in karma. And if you do something bad, bad is going to come back to you and vice versa, right? But when it comes to the law of assumption, we don't want to support the idea of karma at the same time. And here is why. Like, these two concepts cannot exist at the same time. And this is why. So if you believe in a law of assumption, okay, and you decide to live by it, by this law, to utilize it to improve your life, you have to understand that the way things work here is you are not you. You are just awareness. And there are so many different versions of you, of your SP, of the circumstances, of the outer world. And your awareness gets to decide which version or versions you are experiencing day by day. And you can always change that decision and make a new one and decide, okay, I don't want to experience this version of my parents, this version of my job, but something else, something different, and stick with it. So if we follow this logic, okay, and this rule, you can actually understand that your SP is not just one version of that person. There are many different versions of anybody in your little quantum bubble, in your reality. So which version of SP you experienced versus which version you want to experience next is entirely up to you. So yes, there is one version who is married. There is a version who is dead as well. Do you know that? There is a version who is single. There is a version dating you. There is a version you have never met. So all of these versions of your SP exist equally. It's always up to you which of these versions you are going to experience. Okay? So no, there is no karma because you're not going to experience or even think about a version of your SP who is not available or who is not dating you. That reality, that version of your SP has nothing to do with you. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Next question is, Tamara, how can we detach from our desire? Okay, so there is a lot of misconception out there, guys, that we have to detach in order to experience something different or to manifest, right? Let's use a term everybody is familiar with. And that is, in my opinion, from my experience, totally false. We never have to detach from our desired state, okay, from our truth. We only have to detach from our previous states, previous versions of us we don't want to experience anymore, okay? And how do you detach? Well, this is an automatic process. You let go or detach by persisting in your new state and making your new state your most dominant one, the most natural one, if that makes sense. So it's an automatic process. You let go and you persist in the new state, okay? You want to detach from the old self, old versions of you, old versions of circumstances, old versions of your SP. You want to detach from negative thoughts, feelings, doubts, because they cannot hurt you or tell you who you are. You want to detach from the current 3D situation as well, because you cannot seek validation from current circumstances, the current 3D doesn't know who you are yet. But as long as you stick with the new state, the 3D has no choice but to follow and show you who you are now. Okay, to reflect your new decision right back at you, if that makes sense. So don't worry, you don't have to forget about your SP, detach from them, none of that. Truth to be told, in my experience, people never really detach or give up. You always have some kind of awareness of any situation in your life, of any person, right? You're always aware of something. What that thing is entirely up to you. You're always going to be aware, do I have my SP in this relationship or not? Right? So you can pretend that you're giving up, but there is no such thing as giving up on your awareness, because you're always aware of some versions of your circumstances, of your SP. Which version you want to focus on is again up to you. And my advice to you is, do not give up on your, specific desired state, but persist in it by letting go of your previous states of being, your previous versions of yourself. Okay? I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments, guys. Okay? Let's see. Next question is, could you talk about changing someone's mental health and behavior? I know it's a case of seeing them differently, but it's so hard when their actions are constantly affecting you. A great question, right? So there was another question from, I think, a month, 2 months ago, below one of my videos. A person was asking, can we change a mentally disabled person, right? Or a mentally sick person? The answer is, again, you have to look at it totally differently. We're never changing people. And this is, again, the way I teach things, the way I understand the law. We're not recreating or changing people in that, sense. We are, again, choosing different versions we want to experience and disregarding any versions we don't want to experience anymore. So just like people recovering from cancer by using the law, yes, we can use the law to experience a different version of our SP who is mentally stable, healthy, and thriving. Now, having said that, if you are experiencing a version of anybody in your current 3D that's causing you any kind of harm, danger, physical or emotional, first thing to do is you have to deal with the current 3D in the best way you can. So if somebody's causing you harm or is danger to you or to themselves, you have to absolutely involve authorities, seek distance, and then from a safe distance, from a safe place, you realize, okay, it's one of many versions of the person. Do I want to experience this anymore? No. I want to experience healthy, stable and thriving version of my SP. Okay, I'm going to give them a chance. I'm going to decide that is the version that I want to experience from now on, from a safe distance, okay? Until the new version of that person shows up in your 3D, and that's going to happen only if you persist in your decision, and only then you can interact safely. I hope that makes sense, okay? Next question, guys, is, let's see, Tamara, this is true, we don't have to affirm millions of times to make it happen. I wanted to ask, what if negative thoughts come or opposite happens of what we affirmed? What can we do? Okay, I'm going to make like longer separate video on negative thoughts, fears, and doubts and what to do when this happens. But short answer is you don't have to do anything. And I'm serious. You don't have to do anything with any doubts, fears, and negative thoughts. Dissociate and simply realize they're just thoughts. They're just feelings. They're stemming from my previous state. But they cannot tell me who I am now. Right? There's nothing to be worried about, like nothing to be afraid of, nothing to fight. If you engage in any kind of mental discussion or you try to fight those negative fears or doubts or feelings, it's going to make matters worse. Because by doing that, you are essentially saying, I'm not this person. These negative thoughts and feelings and doubts or fears, they have huge power over me. So now I have to struggle here and fight hard to prove I'm not that anymore. So think about this from a logical perspective. Does a person who knows who they are, they're confident in their decision, they're sticking with it, they're deciding to see anything out there from the perspective of having their desire, would that kind of person even worry about negative thoughts, feelings, and doubts? So feel the thoughts, feel the negative feelings, observe those negative thoughts or fears, but then just realize they're just thoughts and just feelings. And it's okay. I can experience all of these because of my previous state and still know who I want to be. And still stick with my decision. These thoughts, feelings, fears cannot hurt me or mess up with my state. That's it. Move about your day. Okay? All right, guys, this is getting pretty long today. I'm going to make another video with your questions pretty soon. Don't worry. We always have a lot of questions come in. So if I haven't answered the questions today, I will in the next video, guys. I promise. Don't worry. I hope you enjoyed the video today and you found this very educational and fun. I am available for one-on-one coaching. The links are down below. So I wish you guys an amazing weekend. And don't forget to be the person who has their desire and stick with it. Okay? Bye, guys.